She Doesn't Care? Question mark.
I'ma tell you about a woman whose heart is sunshine, whose body burned hot. I'ma tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra, with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares.
Well, welcome to the C-Note Show, guys. It's 11:02 here, Mountain Time, Friday, May 15, 2020. Happy Friday. My amazingly advanced graphic design abilities for our theme of this week is she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She acts like she doesn't care. It seems like she doesn't care. I'm trying these things. So a man on the forum, which I'm going to highlight in our question of the day today, was fired up. I think the words fucking, bullshit, fuck it, I'm done, fuck. And I had all these moderator alerts pop up for the forum this morning, Cynthia. Like, do you want to keep this post? Do you want to keep this post? Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Cynthia and I are professional coaches. Our company is Great Men Move Mountains. And welcome to the C-Note Show. Say hi to the guys, Cynthia. Good morning.
Hey, good morning and happy Friday. It is so wonderful to see all of you this morning. And as always, thank you for being here and thank you for allowing me to be part of your process.
Yeah, so cool. And we do this show because of the men like I was 6 years ago that feel like we're in free fall around a relationship. Either we're in purgatory or we're afraid of divorce or we feel like separation is coming at any moment or the time bomb is ticking down and we feel the anxiety rising over our eyeballs. And that's when I found this work, when I was I'd already smashed on the ground in despair and in confusion and in desire for what the fuck is going on. There's got to be a group of men or some book out there that can help me with this. And the good answer is yes, there's absolutely great groups of men. This is one of them. And I have Cynthia on as my co-host. She's my co-coach, my counseling partner, and also my fiance. And I stumbled there because I'm about to say there's vulnerable things that she and I talk about every day on this show. And one of those, Cynthia, that I want to share today was about yesterday when we were talking about emotion versus logic and how a woman can say something and it sounds like she really wants you to fix it, right? It sounds like she really wants me to fix something, but that's actually not at all what she's intending. And she was just wanting to connect emotionally with me. So Cynthia, we'll share that later on. I've got some notes about that. Yeah, how do you feel about sharing vulnerably as coaches? We're not therapists. We're coaches that look at the current situation and how to get what you want, move forward in the world to achieve what you want. So how do you feel about sharing vulnerably with the group here and the world? These go on YouTube as well.
The opportunity to hold and speak in my best way and learn about myself and share vulnerably who I am for a purpose, for service is not only a gift to me, but I feel that the courage it takes. And then in turn, when you all share vulnerably here, I feel the courage and the power of that. And to me, that is life and that is freedom. And I so prefer that over the kind of numbed out, pushing down feeling we can all have in life that we can get stuck in. Like this is a train that's not on a stuck track. It keeps moving forward. And I love that in every part of my being.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love doing this for the men too. I love also curating funny clips. I have got a clip that Kent sent me that was in my list to use at some point. I'm going to share that today from 40-year-old version. Yeah, super cool. I also have a Kevin James short that we're going to start with. And I also have a funny other little clip to make a point later on today. So I always love to bring in humor with the darkness here, with the pain, with the agony. You know, like we say, we dive into the pool, we dive into the ocean. We also springboard up off of the bottom, up into purpose and up into positive vision in the world. So I'm going to share Kevin James's pilot little episode of a series, a 2-minute long series on YouTube that he has. It's called Hopes and Dreams.
Hey, Marty. everybody.
Hey, how's it going, Reggie?
It's going so good, I can't believe it's butter. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited.
Wow, what is up?
That's just me all night long, excited about my life, ready to make the commitment. Want a family, want those kitties. I'm excited. And it's going to happen today. And I just wanted you to know, so...
I gotta tell you, Reggie, I didn't even know you were seeing anybody.
For like 10 years now. It's
wow.
Yes, it's Heather from accounting, and I'm ready to make this commitment.
Wait, you've been seeing Heather from accounting for 10 years?
We're all around the office, yeah. I mean, but I'm ready to make it real now, so.
Reggie, she's married.
Yeah, to her work. She's a very good worker.
Yeah, and to her husband, the dentist. They've been married for a long time. They got like 4 kids. Her oldest was in the other day. That kid that took her out to lunch, that's her oldest son. Yeah, she's a very happily married woman. Do you think that you were going to marry Heather from accounting?
Are you happy hour?
I'm busy. My kid's got gymnastics. You gonna be okay, Reg?
Yeah, I'm just very itchy right now.
Some men are a little bit slow on the uptake, Cynthia. I don't know. I mean, sometimes we wait a little bit too long to make a move sometimes. Oh my God. So I want to give a shout out to some of the regulars that are on here. And I also see some guys that haven't been on for a bit. Hey, Shawn, I see your face right there. Welcome, buddy. Got Jason and Ian. Oh my gosh, Dan. Hey, Shawn. Awesome. I love it. Rob, Randy, Patrick. I'm not going to be able to say everybody. Pat, good to see you again. Brother Kent, of course. And we've got Scott the man on here. Scott, are you with your kids right now? I'm not sure if you can say hey, but I love it when you come on the show. Roger's here, of course. Oh, Roger, my man. You're going to love our show. You're going to love our show today. So I'm gonna roll right into our question of the day, and I let Roger know on the forums I was going to post this question. And so our question is a little bit of events, a little bit. Cynthia, I'm gonna have you unmute yourself, and I want you to jump in on and off here. A little bit of event, right? So, God damn it, fucking bullshit. That's how it started this morning, right? And Facebook is like, "Are you sure you want to keep this post?" Yes, I'm sure. Please do. I got frustrated again and sent myself back, I'm sure. I didn't totally lose it. Went for a brief drive to cool off. Was hopeful tonight, but no. She didn't come to bed. She stayed up late playing Candy Crush and watching Idiot Vision. Then she gets the hint and wants me to wait until her show is over. And that's when I get really mad. Because you gotta wait till Idiot Vision is done, right? Then I cool off and try again, but her all day headache, that didn't prevent her from staying up and wasting time. And allegedly the headache was too bad after her show, I guess. Excuses. I'm in an asexual marriage with an asexual person who I happen to have kids with, so that's interesting. And nothing seems to change that. Nothing seems to change. She's asexual, and she's just asexual, right, Cynthia? That's what's going on. Asexual.
Yes. No.
This is where you start talking and you take over. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it would. It seems like the way that she's living her life right now, and often being in her own masculine energy and doing and getting things done, and the walls that she's built up. When a woman does that, it's like she's cutting. She still feels her body, but the life flow, the feminine flow, the being in excitement and turn on just turns off from here down. And I know that is a really unattractive place for her to be in. And I've received feedback that when I do that, it's not inviting, it's not pleasant. And it's like cutting off of sexual energy. So of course it feels like asexual. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I responded to this post this morning. We had a back and forth. We have a phenomenal community of men. So I want to give, Roger's fine with me saying that this was his post, right, Roger? I see you in front. That's the, like, one of the, what am I trying to say behind you there? It's not the Death Star. That's what, a Star Destroyer? Yeah. Okay. I was hoping that you'd say, hey, so I can see the Star Destroyer behind you.
Hey, Jeff, I consider it an appropriate metaphor for the wreckage of my marriage.
The last 24 hours, that was rough, right, Roger?
Yeah, you know what? We'll get to this, I'm sure. Forgive me, I'm eating Chinese food. The bat is delicious. But, it's, the last 24 hours, but it's nothing in particular. Just it builds up. It's like Old Faithful. It builds up, I blow. It builds up, I blow. So we're in a nodal wave right now. So I'll let you talk. You're the one.
Yeah, right on. I appreciate it, Roger. Thanks for coming on. And by the way, I'm sure you guys feel this. It takes giant cojones to post that on the forum today and then to come on the show live like this and to say, hey, and to not run away from this, right? To face it head on, even though it feels like a train wreck, even though the Star Destroyer behind him has crashed into the planet. That's what it feels like, either emotionally, literally, in all ways right now. So huge kudos, Roger, for bringing it to the men like you did, and for being on the show and facing the dragon and jumping into the abyss. I really appreciate that, man. So Cynthia, I want to jump to what I had talked about that you and I are going to share a little bit vulnerably yesterday about something I thought that when you said it, that maybe we needed to fix it. Okay. And so we were talking about clips that we show on here and on our YouTube. There's timestamps to jump around within the C-Note show, because our show is an hour to about an hour and 15 minutes, 5 days a week. And so if someone doesn't have the time to watch the entire show, they can jump around. And I want you to share it, please. So you talked about Brene Brown and how it was great to show clips there. Right? Do you remember the conversation yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you were talking and you were super excited about this is so awesome because people don't have to, watch the whole show, or they pick out one segment and then it would inspire them to watch more. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And I was like really enjoying being on this, like, this is so exciting, feeling emotional place of this. And I was trying to add on to that, like, oh, here's like more icing for the cake. I was trying to say, gosh, it takes me so long to like watch a full Brene Brown video to find the exact clip I want. And wow, we are now providing a way for people to, hear and have common comments that they want to hear over again and be able to find it quickly. But the way I was saying that and just being like, this is awesome, thank you for doing this, Kate, I think you were like confused for a moment. Like, are you asking me to add Brene Brown into our clips? Are we trying to timestamp Brene Brown clips?
Yeah, so I want to jump in and say that immediately I felt like I needed to fix something. Like I needed to go back and tighten up the show or add in new timestamps, or that you were somehow tacitly judging what was going on there. And really, you were just trying to connect. You were excited about what was going on. And it wasn't about the logic of the situation. It was about the emotional connection of the situation. And for me, it's vulnerable to say, I actually had to process that and think about it and be in that with you actively. So guys ask me, when does this become automatic? When do I not ever have to think about this again? When does it just become, second nature? And 95% of it will become second nature over time here, guys. My journey took 9 months of hard study. And then now it's been 5 years. I've been doing this professionally, working with families at first. When I left the school system and my job in the school system, I started my own practice. And now it's been full-time with men for over 3 years. And so even me, sometimes I have to actively be aware I don't need to fix it. And when I feel that tension in my head or the tension in my throat, that's the physical sign. That's the sign for me, the physiological sign that, okay, I just need to breathe, think into this. And there's a woman in front of me. There's a woman in front of me. So 99% of the time, she's speaking emotionally. So I would love for gentlemen to raise your hand within chat and come on and share an experience where you've had, or Jason or one of the other coaches would jump on. I'd love one of my colleagues as well to jump on if they've got an example like that, or if you want to share an example from your life where you mistakenly thought she was wanting you to do something, but really she was just trying to connect. Yeah, Scott, please, I'd love for you to come on.
So I'm eating a croissant with my buddy.
Nice.
Croissant. Yeah.
It's Miles, right? Is his name Miles?
His name is Trajan.
Trajan. Hey, Trajan.
Yeah. Roman. Yeah, well, it was funny. 2 days ago, my ex-wife, got very upset because I had a friend come over. She wants to get piano lessons from my mom. And she came over and I didn't tell her. So then when I get home, she lays to me that she bought tickets up to Washington already and she's taking the boys up there because she can't trust me or rely on me while she's in school and taking tests. So, of course, I flip out and I mean, not flip out, but I'm just like, I look at her, I'm like, you are not taking my kids. I'm with them 90% of the time. I love them. They need me. I need them. All that stuff. So we go back and forth for a little bit, but then I just get really calm, cool. I sit down with her and I look at her and I say, I love you. I respect you. I understand you felt that I betrayed you there, but you're not taking my kids. And then within 2 hours, she was trying to initiate sex with me.
No kidding.
So I was like, okay, whatever. But she didn't really buy the tickets. She just told me that. I know that for a fact. But it was just like, she was like, ready. I'm going to take them to my mom's. I'm not going to see them for 6 months. And I was just like, no, you're not going to do that. But I wasn't flipping out. I wasn't yelling. I was just like, I just told her straight up. I'm like, I will, if you did, I will be there. I will fly up there. I will live on the street. I don't care. But it's not going to happen. And then she told me I didn't buy the tickets, but I was just mad. And it was very interesting 2 days ago. So
yeah, Scott, I'm going to mute you for a second. So Scott is, I think, our poster child for getting shit tested, to be honest, right? Scott, like, look at him laugh. Yeah. It's like, fucking, hey, he just gets confidence. You know, it's called shit test, or we like to say confidence test or congruence test. And so she tested his congruence as a father and as a man. Will he stand up when I try to push this boundary that's a non-negotiable for him? And Scott made a calm declaration of what you wanted, right, Scott? Let me unmute you again.
Yeah, I did. And she was testing me, see if she's like, you can have 6 months free of the kids, you can do whatever you want, be with whoever you want. And I was like, no, these are my kids, man. I'm not 6 months without my baby. He's freaking 2. You won't remember me. Forget that.
Yeah, look, awesome. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. I'm going to go and meet you again. So, Cynthia, I'd love for you. I always love for you to share, and men have given us tons of feedback from the feminine perspective. So, what do you believe is going on with a woman in that instance with Scott when it's obviously she wants something emotional. She wants something emotionally, okay, or she wants something to happen here, and just basically pushes in and tries to move forward with it, maybe without considering the logic of the situation, let's say, or considering his point of view, which is our theme of this week, right? Is she doesn't care. She doesn't seem to care. So give us some feedback on Scott's situation. I'd appreciate that.
Oh, thank you for asking. So something that women do is when they when they feel anxious and out of control of something or really stressed out about something, they can flip into problem-solving mode. And problem-solving mode in the women's way of doing things can come across as like harsh and controlling. So what that made me think of is that she was having anxieties, worries, and concerns. And her way of dealing with that was like, okay, this is the plan I'm going to do, and I'm going to just push into this. And this relieves in me the pressure that I'm feeling. I'm getting a little bit of a relief. The steam's going out of the pot. And she almost feels safer in thinking that I can just go ahead and do whatever I want. Then the flip side of that is when you're a woman doing that, never quite the container that you thought it would be. It doesn't quite have the stress relief that you thought it would be. And so I could imagine that, Scott's ex is in this constant, like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, I'm going to take control. And then she's like, this doesn't feel good because I'm all on my own doing this. And I need some feeling of masculine backing container around me. So it looks like it's almost like a push-pull with Scott. Like, I'm going to be in control, but then I really want his masculinity in my life as well.
So Cynthia, Dan in the chat asks, it's been my experience with that's how my wife handles anxiety. How would you recommend I work with that when she's in that mode and don't react and take it personally? How can Dan handle that with his wife around anxiety? To not take it personally?
Oh, okay. Well, I think in terms, Dan, thank you for that question. And that is hard for us to not take it personally when our partner is stressed out. But and again, as Jeff pointed out, timing is everything. But in just inviting her to share, what's going on with her. Hey, I noticed that you seem like you have a lot going on and might be feeling really anxious right now. Is there anything you would like me to know about that? Do you want to share what is on your plate, and have her actually, pull out and put on the plate in front of you? Oh my gosh, I'm worried about this over here. And then I talked to my mom and she really triggered this in me. And then the kids this and work this. So she can show you what's there. You get to realize that her just getting to put that out, take it out of her head and share that with you in a container where you're not trying to fix it, where you have compassion, where you can give her a hug. That's what she needs to do. She actually doesn't need you to fix anything. And it's also a way to see, like, this isn't my stuff. This is the soup that she's stirring and working through in her life.
So Shawn, you raised your hand. I'd love for you to unmute yourself and ask Cynthia a question, or give us a situation about this. Please jump in. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I've been on these calls periodically, and I was in separation. Pretty much, it was logistics. Kids were with me during the week, and 2 weeks ago, my wife and I decided to reconcile, to move forward with building our relationship as a new relationship. And right now, we've had some interaction in regards to us going. I went over to the marital home, kind of like a date, in a sense, but we were still talking about us, and trying to figure things out. And yesterday we were talking about values, and she's very clear and very well thought out, and her values are there. But for me, it's hard to express how I actually feel. I feel out of touch with me. So I was really kind of fearful last night, with being able to express, where I'm at with my values, because I don't feel connected to them. So I don't know if you can shed some light on connecting to my values and then being able to express them to her.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have something I'm going to show right now that talks about exactly how to step through talking with her about it. In addition, I don't know if you've heard that we have our free audio book, Shawn, and there's a PDF ebook along with that talks about this as well. There's tools in there. So sure. So that gives me an opportunity. So go to our website, greatmenmovemountains.com/free audiobook.
Okay.
You punch in your info and you get an instant download for our 45-minute audiobook that we recorded less than 2 weeks ago. Cynthia and I did. And Cynthia and I created all for that specifically the follow along 13-page PDF. It has tools along the way and it's beautiful. So that talks about, in there I called it the don't be a tool, which is
Right.
basically how to reconnect and how to share your values and emotions. And I have a Cliff's Notes. It's not the same, but a Cliff's Notes way of doing that I'm going to share right now. And Shawn, I'm going to circle back with you here in about 30 seconds after I show this. So I just quickly labeled this: how do I stand up for my values, boundaries, and wants? And I use the why, how, what, when format here. Okay, and so what you want to do is, first of all, share why you're sharing this with her. So something that's very important to me. I've been thinking about something that's really important to me, and I'd like to share it with you. Okay, so you're saying an emotional word about why you're even talking about this in the first place. So it's a preface, it's a warm up. So I want to share something that is maybe embarrassing for me. I want to share something that's important to me. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think it's important for our relationship. So that's the warm up of why. Okay. The how is how you perceive it affects the relationship, whether it's been happening or whether you want it to happen in the future, how you foresee it affecting the relationship. And guys, I'm always happy for you to take screenshots of this. This I don't have up anywhere else. I'm utilizing this on the show right now. Cynthia and I have developed these tools for years, and then we're bringing them in the most what's appetizing way, the most consumable way here on the show, because the Don't Be a Tool is longer and it's more in depth. That's within the PDF accompaniment to the audiobook. So how this affects our relationship. So Shawn, give me an example of what you'd like to bring up of something that either matters to you or you're not sure what matters to you yet. Where are you in that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what matters to me. My biggest fear right now is we have been separated since May 2019. I've been out of the house since November 2019. Currently living with my parents. My girls are with me right now because I'm a phys ed teacher, so I have the availability to be with them throughout the week. She's currently working. She runs a nursing home, and so we really don't cross paths too often, other than the logistics of passing off the kids and you know that type of thing. So we're making it more of a concerted effort to get together individually, but that's tough too throughout the week. So right now it's brief interactions when I drop off on Fridays, and brief interactions when she drops off on Sundays. And then Tuesdays is kind of like going to be where it's going to be our date night, where I'm going to be at the marital home, and we're going to also discuss the relationship and start working on the relationship. So it's this kind of weird place to be in right now, because we are dating and we're trying to build something new, but we're also working through all of our stuff at the same time.
Let me shoot a few things out, right?
Yeah.
So on Tuesdays when you get together, and by the way, Cynthia and I do this, we call it Sunday morning coffee.
Okay.
Where we come and it's 90% of the time, 95% of the time, just a fun experience. We share positive things. And then it is a format. It is a place for us to bring up one concern that we may have in the relationship, or one thing that we'd like to ask for or request. Okay. And so it's definitely not a place where you just bring all your shit and, you have this laundry list of crap. It's not like, no one's going to like that. And it needs to be basically random that you bring up one thing that you have a concern about. So that's a frame that I would consider for your Tuesdays.
Okay.
Otherwise, my question, I kind of give guys like, well, how often do I bring something up, Jeff? Well, honestly, probably not more than once every maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Just to kind of put a time frame out there. Otherwise, maybe it's something that you need to either take care of yourself or let go or prioritize a little bit better on what's really the number one thing.
Okay.
The number one thing every 3 or 4 weeks, because otherwise it just feels like Saturday coffee is just a complaint all the time, right?
Yeah.
So on Tuesdays and otherwise, are you having fun with her? You're basically starting dating again, right?
Yeah. In the capacity that, we're at the house, and we just started this past Tuesday. So, last night I stayed later. I dropped my girls off at the house. So they'll be there until Sunday. So we talked, but it got to talking about values, and she wanted to talk about values for herself and myself, and then how that comes together in our relationship. And I just wasn't there last night to start talking about it. And I know she wanted me to ask her about where she was with in regards to her values, because she mentioned it a couple times. She goes, I've realized some things that have changed for me, and in values, in regards to values. And I just kind of sat there.
She was like, ask me the question. Right.
Right. So I just kind of sat there, and, hindsight, waking up this morning, I'm thinking, yeah, I probably should have engaged a little bit more to, increase the interest in what she's seeing and within her changes.
Okay. Yeah. Let me jump in right there, Shawn. Yeah. So this is awesome. This is like hot seat coaching. I love it, Shawn. So anybody can use the tool I'm about to say. All right. You don't have to have been perfect in the moment. You can bring it up later. So let me give it an example back with our tool here of sharing your balance. So why am I bringing this up the next time? Why am I going to bring this up? Well, I was thinking about last Tuesday when you mentioned your values, and you've had some change of thoughts around your values, and that's important to me. I'd like to know what you want to share with me. Okay? And I think this is a great thing for us to be open and honest with each other. So what you're doing is you're doing it right then. You're doing the action right then, and you're doing it right now. So what you're doing is the action of asking her. You're doing it right now. So I was thinking about what you brought up last Tuesday, and what you have to say is really important to me, because I believe it's going to help us grow more strong together. And then Cynthia's question of, what would you like me to know about that? Tell me more about that. Right? A lot of times there's really like 3 similar questions then you can ask, and that's really all you need to do. Okay. I'm going to ask you about your values and your wants, but the next conversation does not have to include those.
Yeah.
She might want them to, or think that she wants it to, but that's 2 different chunks. Okay. There's you, there's her, and there's the relationship, right? So you're asking basically about her part of the relationship that she wants to share. Okay? And she's going to want to hear your values as well, but you don't have to be forced into talking more than you feel comfortable. And what that means is you need to backstep and do some homework for yourself, which we'll talk about here in a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So how does that feel when I say, hey, I was thinking about what you brought up on Tuesday, and it's important to me, and I know it's important to our relationship. So what would you like me to know about that? What else would you like me to know? And is there anything else that you'd like me to know about that?
Yeah, I know I'd feel comfortable of doing that. I guess where I shy away from it is when she turns the table and then immediately kind of goes towards, well, what do you think about it? Where your values are at? What are they connected? What have you realized? And I just feel flooded.
Yeah, sure. Good. So let's talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Number one, guys, and Shawn, this is right to you too, man. And this is me. I had to do this work at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And the homework is, what do I want in relationship of where we are now? Okay. You do not have to feel pressured into like coming up with, oh, I've had this giant awakening. If you start to feel pressured, like you have to answer and appease her, or you're trying to create the answer so she likes you or likes it, you're on the fucking wrong track. Okay. And that's not going to connect with her. I'm going to ask Cynthia about that too. So let me pause there. So if Shawn tries to, or a man tries to give an answer to see if she likes it, how might that come across to a woman?
Well, it feels like that it comes from a weaker place, a more uncertain place. And Shawn, all she's looking for right now, I think kind of she's working through some of her nerves about, okay, this is new. Whew, what if this happens again? Okay, but I want it to be different. And she's trying to find some like certainty, like this really is going to be okay. I'm not going to lose myself. I'm not going to lose what I've learned through this. I'm going to stay true to my desires and wants. So she's just trying to find her own anchor in this. And so she's kind of saying, okay, here's my anchor, but I really want you to be the anchor. So that's the pull you're feeling from her. And I think that's why it feels a little confusing. She's energetically asking for your solidity and your certainty in yourself. And it's okay that you don't have that perfectly yet. And I love what Jeff said about defining what you want, and allow yourself to want in relationship beyond the radar of you, what you think she can provide. Because if you're thinking, man, I really want this, but I know that she won't, then you're going to get stuck and you're going to feel clouded and uncertain. Allow yourself to want beyond the radar, and then that's going to be vision and pull for your relationship. And she's going to love feeling that in you, that you are moving toward something. You have vision for something.
Thank you. Yeah. No, it makes total sense. It's just, in those moments, especially last night, I just felt that I was just kind of all over the place, trying to scramble, like you're saying, Jeff, with appease her, just to, find out what she wants to hear. And that's the way I've kind of been in the relationship. And I know it's not a good place to be. And so that's why I feel disconnected in being able to explain or express what I actually want. That's where I'm having a hard time figuring out right now, because I've lost myself in this whole relationship.
Yeah. So a couple of things there. I want to honor what Cynthia said, and I actually typed this down because this quote is incredible. Allow yourself to want beyond the radar. And so Cynthia, I want you to correct me here. Want within the relationship, beyond the radar of what you think she may even be able to provide. Help me make this a little more smooth. What did you say?
Allow yourself to want. It's for yourself and the relationship.
Allow yourself to want for yourself and the relationship. Beyond the radar of what you think she may even be able to provide. So are you saying don't assume that she can only go, say, so far, or don't assume that she'll be blown away if you go beyond her current radar screen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, don't assume, and it may happen. Like it may be a point where she can't quite breathe it, what you're saying, and that's okay, because when we are so in touch with our bottom drawer desires, what we're truly wanting, there's a clarity there. And I've really experienced in relationship that if I'm in my deepest wants, no matter where the other person's at, we start moving in that direction. It's a really powerful force. And I know that sounds a little like oovy groovy, but it's your clarity, the clarity of intention, the clarity of desire, the clarity of purpose moves people forward together in a way I've never experienced before.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Phenomenal. I'm going to jump back, Shawn, and we're going to move forward here in a second.
Okay.
As far as the rest of your question. So allow yourself to want for yourself and the relationship beyond the radar of what you think she may even be able to provide. And Cynthia was saying, it's okay if you sort of blow that out of the water, because she'll be impressed and drawn and attracted to your strength and vulnerability. So there's a section, an excerpt from The Masculine in Relationship by Youngblood that I've talked about quite a bit on the show and in the forums. And he's talking about connecting with her and being clear. This is under chapter 12, Clarity is Key. There is no silver bullet, but clarity starts with simply giving yourself permission to listen to that quiet voice inside of you that knows what you prefer and what you think is best, the best way forward. Give yourself permission to have your own voice in any situation. Listen to and nurture that voice. Develop the rock solid belief that your opinions matter and that your wisdom is sound. Okay, I got it on Kindle right here. And I want to refer to, we've been developing the boardroom exercise all week long. And so just to jump in, Shawn, the positive persona that you might go ask in your head. So, Roger would say, what would Gene Simmons do? Or Steve Horseman would say, what's the mountain lion? What would the mountain lion do? What would the mountain lion say? Or what would Fonzie do or say? Right? Whatever your sort of hero archetype of what you look up to, you metaphorically walk into the boardroom, you ask what that archetype might do, and you get feedback. Okay, and so that goes right into honoring and cultivating the voice within yourself of the man you want to be. So, Shawn, let me ask, what do you think was one of the key reasons you lost yourself in the relationship, to use your words?
Because I just kind of went along with what she wanted, she planned for, her experience. I didn't have any kind of opinion. I just kind of went along with things. The nice guy,
Yeah.
part of it. And, in talking with her, she definitely felt that, and, basically expressed to me, and rightfully so, is that, because I wasn't sharing my opinion on things, she had no other recourse but to go forward with what she had planned. And I always felt that in the times that I did step into my masculine frame, I felt I was overpowering her, and it created tension, I felt, and so I shied away from that, and I just kind of went along. I didn't want to rock the boat, but ironically, not doing anything led me to the whole process of facing close to divorce, and then the separation that we've been in since November or May. So
Yeah, I'll say that autopilot that I fell into in my past relationship is something that we men, that's a huge piece of what's going on here.
yeah,
Is we didn't learn the skills, so we went on autopilot and thought everything was okay, and it wasn't.
right.
And so the good news is, Shawn, is that this is all within your control. These are the skills that you're learning now, the skills that you're reading about. The Masculine in Relationship is a phenomenal book. It's one of the first 5 that I recommend to men.
I do have it. Yeah.
Good, awesome. And so let me say, I mean, it's your fault for not doing the homework of knowing what you want, right?
Right.
So it's also your responsibility, and you can control that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You don't have to steamroll, obviously, but she does want you to lead. So Robert Glover, in his newer book, Dating Essentials for Men, which basically could also be called Relationship Essentials for Men, talks about take the lead and set the tone, and then allow her to set the pace. Okay. So if I'm taking the lead and setting the tone here, she has full capacity and the full right to speak up and say she wants something different, or that she'd like to go to a different place tonight, or she has her own agency. So we're not steamrolling, but we must take the lead and set the tone. And the tone is usually the positive regard, the positive attitude. We're going to have fun together. The tone also is, I need to know what I want. Okay. And then she can say, well, I'd like something different, or, let me give you this other thought that I had, which is totally great. Of course, you welcome that. And then you can change your mind, of course, with her information, and maybe make a different decision. Okay, that sounds great. Tell you what, let's go this way. All right. And so, by the way, I didn't say, is that okay? She gave me feedback, and I said, cool, that's great. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, let's try this. Let's go this way. And you're taking the lead again. You're setting the tone in a different direction. And if she doesn't like that, she'll set the pace with that as well. Okay. There's other questions about, well, what if she doesn't speak up? And what if she passively feels like I'm steamrolling her? That's a different conversation, right? Which we could certainly talk about another day. But to your question, you have to know what you want and then how to lead that. And I'll go to this tool again really fast. So,
Okay.
Give me an example, Shawn, of something you realize that you need to have an opinion on that you haven't in the past.
I want to be able to stand in my masculine frame, and for her to be able to feel that. And I don't know how to get there. I know that's a very broad. I mean, it's
like give me one
broad.
specific type of scenario. Yeah.
You know, it just felt at one point in our relationship. I was just running around. I was doing the grocery shopping. I was cutting the lawn. I was doing the dishes. I was doing the cooking. I stepped into this role where I was just constantly busy, and I was just constantly doing things and being drained constantly.
Okay, so let me jump in real fast. So knowing what you don't want is a start. So I don't
Right.
want to be constantly busy. I don't want to be constantly drained. I
Right.
don't want to take on too many responsibilities.
Right.
So what would you want? So I want to feel energized. I want to feel balanced and rested. I
Right.
want to feel like we're both contributing to the relationship.
As best we can, and obviously that's not always going to be perfect and understanding that, but for the most part, kind of having a balance at some level.
Okay, so tell me now, emotionally, why for the relationship, emotionally, why do you want that for you to feel like you're energized and in balance?
Because that to me, that created a lot of resentment
Oh,
towards
hold on,
her.
pause. So you
Yeah.
just said a bunch of you're going down negative.
Yeah.
Let's say the positive. Emotionally, why in a positive way do you want that for the relationship, for you to be in balance?
Because that would connect me to her.
Cynthia's over there like, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you can straight up say that, by the way, and it feels like clunky, right?
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's going to feel clunky. It's going to feel clunky. And you, by the way, I interrupted you, but if you just put a period, which I do sometimes, but if you just put a period on that sentence, let's go back to this. Practice again. Tell me in the positive, why you're sharing this, okay? And how it affects your relationship and what you're going to do, basically, you in a positive way.
Well, why I would be sharing it is because I want more connection between Katie and I. I want to feel connected to her. I want to feel that love for her. I want to be able to have her come home and me to light up instead of feeling so drained.
So pause. Don't don't say the negative right now. Just the
Right.
positive. So that was really good. That
Yeah.
was like 3 or 4 sentences. I would not do more than 3 or 4 sentences at a time.
Okay.
Because we fucking
I know.
usually we talk ourselves into the ditch, like you're doing good. Like, oh, now I'm skidding out. I'm like, oh shit. Like, no, okay.
Right.
Like 2, 3, 4 sentences at a time is great.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is what? Like keep it 1 or 2 sentences. Let me share this again. So you are going to what?
And what I'm going to do is when I recognize that there are things on her plate that are pressing, that I will take some of the balance off of that, and I will contribute a little more on my end to be able to balance us out and be supportive.
And what I would like for you to do is in a positive way for her.
And I would like when you recognize that in me to be able to reciprocate and that reciprocity, the same.
Good.
Like I said.
And if I feel overwhelmed, are you okay if I come to you? Like you can add that at the end.
Yeah, and if I feel overwhelmed, is it okay if I come to you? And now we've had a past where I've struggled with anxiety, and I have come to her because I've disconnected from my friends. So that's been an issue, and so that's why I'm starting.
Yeah, let me jump in there. Okay,
Yeah.
This is awesome. So I made the mistake of making my ex my therapist also.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not your therapist. She's not your guy friend, and if you treat her as such, she's not going to want to sleep with you.
Right.
She is your partner. She is your mistress. She is your sexual partner. She's the mother of your children as well, right?
Right.
So let's not give her another hat inappropriately. She's not your best friend. She's not your therapist, okay? Right. So this goes back to our metaphor of diving into the pool and kicking off the bottom of the pool, meaning I share vulnerably, and then I say my positive plan and my positive vision for what I want. So the problem is when we treat her like our therapist, we dive into the pool and then we swim at the bottom of the pool, like collecting pennies at the bottom of the pool until we start to run out of air. And she now thinks that she needs to save us, and we're just drowning in vulnerability.
Right.
So I'd love for Cynthia to jump in. What does it feel like for a woman when a man just like stays at the bottom of the pool and treats her like a therapist?
It feels more like I truly appreciate when men bring their vulnerability. There is this, metaphor of the warrior on the field, and he, gets the arrow in the arm and he pulls off to the side, and the woman's like, "Oh, you're bleeding," and she wraps a bandage around him and he goes back to the battle. I mean, there's something very deep and archetypal about that. When a man is always in that vulnerable place, he doesn't know how to come up and take air. Um, I feel myself move more into like you. It's more like of a mom role, of a caretaker role, and there's like a masculine core of that. Like, okay, like I got to watch how he's doing, make sure he's okay. How's he feeling today? And that's okay. And we as human beings show up for each other, but it's a outward energy versus a feeling in and being in that more feminine, like I want this man inside of me place. So it's just totally different energies.
Yeah. Thank you, Cynthia.
Yeah, and I would say, Shawn, gosh, and Dennis Collins even said that. He said, clunky, but from the heart. That first time that Jeff asked, well, what's your why? And you said, because I want to connect with her. Like, it may have felt clunky to you, but every cell in my being was like, I want to follow that man wherever he goes, because your energy was like, boom. And it was compelling, and it was not clunky. Even if it was, I don't care. It was incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome, Shawn. So here's my bit of, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Shawn. So here's my homework for you, Shawn, and for any man that wants to practice this is literally record into your phone what you feel passionate about, what the positive place that you want to go, the positive vision that you want for your life and for the relationship. Practice those things into your phone. If you start to feel unsure, if you feel like you're going down, the wrong direction, then start the recording again and make it shorter. Say less. Okay, it's not. And to Cynthia's point, breathe into your belly. Okay, feel energy come from your legs and from your crotch and from your belly and from your chest. If you're like this, oh yeah, I really want, and it's just all coming from your head and you're thinking too much, she's not going to feel it from your heart. And if you want to record yourself, are you relaxed? Is your face relaxed? Are you actually having facial expressions when you're doing it, or you just look like a robot? Okay. In addition, one other thing is to hold up a picture. This is an advanced thing that I started to do myself like 6 years ago when I was processing all this shit. Okay. Hold up a picture of her, usually with kind of a straight face, doesn't have to be smiling or anything, just kind of like a normal picture of her, and record yourself while you look at her and say what you want to practice saying. And it should not be long. It's only going to be a certain number of sentences. And because what happens is if you just practice looking out the window and then all of a sudden now you're looking at her like gorgeous eyes and, she's like wanting you to say the perfect thing or whatever, and she's in a romantic moment, you go right up to your head and like, oh shit, I need to say the perfect thing. But if you practice with her picture, it's so much easier. It's so much better when you do that. Right. So there's some tips, guys. I definitely want to show, there was an awesome amount of chat today, which is phenomenal. Roger, I want to honor you. I'm not trying to like skip over your situation. There's definitely a lot of tools that we use today. Okay. So I want to share for you. Now you cannot do this. You cannot do this if you're pissed off, right? You cannot do this when you're feeling just tremendous resentment. And I told a man yesterday who is actually on the show right now that he's not ready to have a conversation with his wife. He's not ready to initiate shit. He's not ready to invite her to sit down on the couch next to him, because he needs to do the boardroom exercise and give voice by writing this out or emailing it to yourself or putting it into your phone, voicing into your phone. The negative persona, the negative voices that are going on, you got to give them each a voice. This is the Hulk. It's my Hulk. It's anger, defensiveness, shame. I'm not good enough. Resentment I don't have written on here. And then you have to end with one or two positives when you do this, right? So what would Gene do? What would the mountain lion man do? What would Fonzie do? Right? These only take 10 or 20 seconds per seat. You're not letting them go on and on. It's like you're driving the bus and you look back and you say, hey, how's it going back there? And you give them 10 seconds each to talk, and you end with a positive, okay? Then you go away. Maybe you've written that down along the way, or you do that at once, and then you walk away and you journal to yourself, okay? And you process, and then as the man who's holding the wheel of the bus, you decide the way forward you want to go. And by the way, if you go back to like, oh, fucking bitch, blah, 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 and you're still pissed when you're driving, like, fuck, blah, blah, okay? You're not ready to initiate shit. And that's okay. That's okay. So what do you do then? You go for a run, you exercise, you try to be as cordial as possible. You probably give yourself space from her, and that's okay. And so you get, even if it's 5 seconds, if I can last 5 seconds, hi honey, good to see you. I'm looking forward to dinner tonight with the kids. And then you walk away like, oh God. And that was all you could do was 5 seconds. That's good. That's great. That's way better than like trying to force it. And now it's a shit show and the fucking Star Destroyer crashes into the ground behind you. That's what we don't want. So give yourself permission to take space for yourself. Just 5 seconds at a time is okay to be cordial. You're not trying to stonewall. You're not trying to avoid. And if she's like, hey, what's up? What's going on with you? It seems like there's a lot of things going on, right? Well, I'm a little embarrassed to share this, but right now I'm not feeling very awesome. Okay. So I really want us to connect in a positive way. I want to have a great dinner with our family. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a walk and I'm going to process this, and I'll come back and I'll see you guys in 30 minutes when I'm feeling better. That's what you say. Right? I'm not trying to fix it right now. I'm not trying to placate her. I'm not trying to tell her everything's okay, because everything's not okay. It's obvious. Like, she already knows everything's not okay. So stop like lying to yourself and stop trying to lie to her. Just breathe into your belly, use that process, be honest, dive into the pool, kick up off the bottom of the pool with your plan and your positive perspective of what you want. So guys, I want to share, I've got to share the clip from 40-Year-Old Virgin. I'll have to wait on the other one that's a 2-minute spot. I'll save that for another time, but definitely going to share the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Yeah, Andy, do you want to jump in real fast and share before I share this movie clip? Thanks, Shawn. I appreciate it.
Really quick. I just wanted to say, I love your idea of when you go into your boardroom and you ask each of the voice what it wants to say. And then what I think is really, really interesting for me, the way I see it as well, is that it's really good to go through all the any issues you might have, but to end up with not seeing things as a problem. And part of being a leadership as well is to find a solution. So you end up looking at the end point. Where can I go from here? I know what I want. I'm going to lead with that. And I want to come out in a positive way, not looking at it like it's a problem, but coming at it at the end that I've got the solution and this is what I want. That's it.
Yeah, I love that.
I like
Absolutely. That. Yeah, I said, thank you, Andy. I really appreciate it. I'm going to mute real fast. I said on the forum too this morning, one of our dozen or so exchanges, Roger, is that you really can choose how you want to look at the situation. So, yes, like years of frustration. Dude, I've been there. Years of realizing I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. All of a sudden, like, the world is ending, right? So I've been there. I get that. And you really can, okay, I can choose to take a breath. I can choose to have 5 seconds at a time with her. I can choose to like take my own space. That's cool. Right now, I'm not ready to talk with her. That's okay. Right? So you don't have, like I say, you don't need to walk around with binoculars on your face. And if like sex and 10 years down the road and, oh my God, I'm worried about all this shit down the road, like take the binoculars off your face, look down and take the next one step, and then take the next one step after that. Right? That's all we got to worry about. If it's a shit show, take the next one step and then the next one step after that. Put the binoculars down. Right? And we'll talk more, Roger, in the forum. We'll also talk one-on-one. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, good. I got a little bit of smile out of Roger. That was awesome. It's Macho Man. Booyah. Nice.
Roger, you have muscles in places that other people don't even get muscles.
Oh, damn. How many cock push-ups can you do, Roger? You only need one, right? You only need one. You only need to be able to do
all
one.
of them, I think.
What's that?
All of them.
All of the. Oh, good answer. Good answer. I like that answer. That's so cool. I love it. So, Cynthia, let's say thank you to the men. I am going to show this movie clip here. It's about 3 minutes long. Super good from 40-Year-Old Virgin. It's actually really useful. It's satirical, but pretty damn spot on. So thank you, everyone, here. And Cynthia, let's honor our men. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for everyone who shares their stories. Watching the chat is an unbelievable experience. I'm just blown away by the feeling of what it's like to see men like supporting each other, leading each other, guiding. It's like standing in like a forest of redwood trees. I'm just in awe, and I honor you. And it's just with so much appreciation to get to feel your energy. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. And those men that jumped in a little bit later that I didn't have a chance to say hi to, like I might say names again, but Dennis and Ian, we've got Chris in here, and Brett and Andy. Thank you so much. Pat and Patrick, Randy, Rob, Shawn, Todd, Roger, of course, absolutely. Kent again. Thank you again, guys. This has been the C Note Show with myself, Jeff Allen, and Miss Cynthia Cruz, brought to you by Great Men Move Mountains and greatmenmovemountains.com. Go find our free ebook on there, our free audiobook as well, and request access to our private Facebook forum, which we have 105 or 107 men in there now. Dude, phenomenal stuff. And all those resources are free. So thank you for being here. I'm going to take us out with some Steve Carell, 40-Year-Old Virgin. Here we go.
It's about talking to women, and I know how to do that because I observe, because I am a novelist.
What? You never told me that before.
That's because I'm not an arrogant prick, Andy. Okay, the problem most men have is they don't know how to talk to women.
You know what my problem is? I am not interesting. What am I supposed to say? I went to magic camp? I'm an accomplished ventriloquist? Oh, I am a 7th degree imperial yo-yo master. Oh, do me, yo-yo master. I want you to do me because you're the yo-yo guy.
Are you done? Listen, the problem most men have is they just plain straight up have no clue how to talk to women.
You just ask questions, okay? That's it. Because women do not care about what you have to say at all, anyway, you know? And all they want to do is talk about themselves. So you're just going to let them do that, okay? So remember, questions, be cool, and be kind of a dick. Here, be David Caruso in Jade.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You do. That's good. Oh, there she is. Go plant that seed, man. Plant it with your finger.
Can I help you?
I don't know. Can you?
Are you looking for something?
Is there something I should be looking for?
Oh, we have a lot of books, so maybe it depends on what you like.
What do you like?
We have a great section of do-it-yourself.
Do you like to do it yourself?
Sometimes. I mean, if the mood strikes.
How is the mood striking you now?
What's your name?
What's your name?
I'm Beth.
Andy.
Andy. Don't tell on me, okay, Andy?
I won't. Unless you want to be told on. Beth.
Wow, that totally worked. I literally said nothing, and she found me fascinating.
I would have thought you were doing that for years.
Oh, should I pass her out?
No, that's the key. You wait for it to grow into a plant, and then you fuck the plant.
You wait for it to grow into a plant, and then you fuck the plant. That's what he says at the end. Like, right? Right, Cynthia? You fuck the plant at the end, right?
Is it exactly how it works? Yes.
Oh, yeah, look at that. She's coming along. Look at this, guys. I'm going to make her dirtier and dirtier. Good. It's fucking awesome. I love it. So good. Have a great weekend, guys. Love you very much.
Bye.
I'ma tell you about a woman who's cold as tundra with some frozen eyes. I can tell by the way she moves that she cares and it's lovely.